Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 7 of Who the Hell Asked. I am your host, Byron, alongside my co host, Slade.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
We got something interesting for you, and this will make you say, Who the hell asked? It's a Nintendo franchises tier list. Lot of.
Yeah, so Byron came to me with this interesting idea. Hey, let's do a tier list. And I'm like, okay, Byron, what are we going to do a tier list of? And then he's like, well, Nintendo franchises. And I'm like, cool. And then I could do Pokemon tier list. It'll be great. So, yeah, I think Who the Hell Asked is really fitting because nobody asked for a Nintendo tier list, but okay, we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, and like Slade said, this will be the first tier list you see on the channel, but this won't be the last. For sure. For sure. So how this is going to work is we're going to have to both agree on where the placement of the franchise is. So
Yeah,
for
so if Byron says that, this franchise is like, oh, Game & Watch is an F tier game or something.
mhm,
And I'm like, nah, bro, that shit's S tier.
like we would have to come to an agreement, like
Yeah,
somewhere in the
we're going
middle.
to have to discuss it. Maybe it comes somewhere in the middle. Maybe I bring him to my opinion or vice versa.
Yeah.
But either way, why don't we get started, Byron?
Alrighty. So starting off with a fucking banger here, and I'm just gonna place this in the center so we have the discussion point. 2D Mario. So this is Super Mario Brothers, the original series, and New Super Mario Brothers, all meshed into one category. So I'll actually let you start the floor, Slade.
All right, so I think this one's a kind of easy consensus. It's easily either an S or an A tier series. Um, has regular releases one time every year. The 2D Mario games are fantastic. I would argue they haven't really innovated a lot since the new Super Mario Bros. Outside of power ups.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think this is definitely an easy S tier. You also have Super Mario Maker and Mario Maker 2, so you could even create your own levels and courses and share them with other people. It's an infinitely replayable series. You can't go wrong with
I'm
2D
I'm
Mario.
I'm leaning a little more towards A, but I could feel S. So for now, we'll put it at S. We'll put
Like I
it
said,
we'll
it's
put it at S
Nintendo's
tier.
poster child series. It wasn't going to be anything less than S or A tier. So
Yeah,
I'm going to lean towards S for now, but we
yeah,
can always move it around once we start getting these other franchises on the
yeah,
list.
absolutely. And well, from 2D to 3D, 3D Mario, it's it's good. I I'm half tempted to controversially put this in A, but I want to hear what you have to say, Slade, on this one.
I was actually thinking along the same lines. I think 3D Mario is really fantastic and all that,
Mhm.
but all in all, I feel like I haven't enjoyed 3D Mario as much since the release of Galaxy. I know Super Mario 3D World's a fantastic game, as is Odyssey,
Mhm.
but all in all, I just feel like when you compare it to 2D Mario and you have the infinite replayability of like the Mario Maker levels and whatnot, and you're also working with a lot more games than you do in 3D Super Mario games. But yeah, I also did not like the well, it's not that I didn't like it. I still love the games. I
Mhm.
did like the 3D All Stars pack, but like I
Yeah.
felt like that pack could have been a hell of a lot better than it ended up being. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but obviously, like, this was like something quick and easy for the 35th anniversary. So,
Yeah, so I definitely think A tier is probably a good place to put that. I know that's blasphemous to say, but
yeah.
that's where I would put it.
Yeah, I would agree. And obviously I have not played as many of the 3D Marios as 2D, but I do enjoy a good 3D Mario though. So, now this is a series, Slate, I'm going to let you take the lead on. I don't know shit about 2D Zelda.
Okay, so there's going to be a lot of bias here when it comes to Zelda games for me because I have always liked 2D Zelda more than 3D Zelda games, but
Mhm.
to me, the Zelda series, regardless whether it's 2D or 3Ds, are the easiest S tiers of my life and possibly the highest ranked games on the list.
Mhm.
Um, 2D Zelda is really fantastic. You have the original Zelda game, which it's aged a bit poorly, but you had the freedom to go anywhere you want right off the bat. I think A Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past is possibly the greatest video game ever made. And you also have, a bunch of fantastic games like Link's Awakening, Ages of Oracle and Seasons. Like, with 2D Zelda games, you just can't go wrong.
Mhm.
I think the one argument you can make against 2D Zelda would be Zelda 2 Adventure and Link. But even then, it was a fantastic platformer for its time. And it brought a lot of new interesting elements as I've been seeing in the series since. So 2D Zelda to me is an easy S tier. It's at the very top of the list. It's much better than 2D Super Mario games. Honestly, if there was an SS tier, like above S tier, this is where this would go for me.
Now,
So yeah,
obvious.
easiest S tier of my life.
Now, obviously, for me, that's where I would put 2D Zelda. But I'm also not a Zelda guy.
Well, Byron, let me ask you: have you ever played, A Link to the Past or Link's Awakening or any like big 2D Zelda game?
I think the only mainline Zelda I've played like extensively is like Phantom Hourglass. And I don't know, is that 2D or 3D
Well,
Zelda?
my God. And yes, I will say Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks kind of drag down the genre, just the games just a little bit. But ignoring that, my guy, how could you? We gotta get you to play some Zelda games. Holy shit. Byron, haven't you ever heard the saying there's no such thing as a bad Zelda game and most of them are masterpieces?
I have heard the saying before, yes.
Yeah, there's a reason for that, Byron. The games are all really fucking good.
All right. All right.
What D tier? Really?
Well, I haven't played enough. Probably that's probably my thing.
Okay, that's fair.
That's probably
fair,
my
that's
thing.
fair.
And speaking of Zelda, 3D Zelda again.
So okay, 3D Zelda. As I said, I am someone who prefers 2D Zelda games, but that's not to say that I don't love 3D Zelda games because obviously I do.
Mhm.
Ocarina of Time is basically a 3D Link to the Past with the way they tried designing it.
Yeah.
You also have Majora's Mask, which I think is one of the most innovative titles in the entire series. I like, in particular, the number of side quests in that game and how there always feels like there's something to do. And while usually adding time limits to these kind of games don't really pan out, I feel like it's something Majora's Mask does exceptionally well. And that's not even going into the Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, or Breath of the Wild. As I said, 3D Zelda games, I would say, are a bit more consistent in their quality overall compared to 2D Zelda.
Yeah.
But all in all, this is also the easiest S tier of my life. It's definitely, I would put 2D Zelda above it because of the number of games, as well as I still think that Link to the Past is the best game in the entire series. But you could make an argument for 3D Zelda. I mean, Breath of the Wild is open world game. You can go anywhere you want right off the bat. As I said, you get your more traditional adventures from Ocarina of Time through Skyward Sword. But all in all, Zelda is a fucking fantastic series. They're all amazing games. You can't go wrong.
I'll agree for now to put it best here. All right, Advance Wars.
All right. So Advance Wars is a pretty fun strategy RPG. It's kind of like similar gameplay to Fire Emblem, but you're not really getting the characterization from like the individual characters as much as from Fire Emblem. Plus, it's also modern and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They have like tanks instead of like warriors and whatnot. I think C tier is actually a really good place for it because it's not like a series that's continually like releasing games and whatnot.
Yeah.
And Intelligent Systems has clearly moved on to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
Really unfortunate because I like Advance Wars and I would like to see another one eventually. But like I said, to me, it's not a series that jumps at you and be like, "Oh my god, this is amazing," or "Oh my god, it's terrible." It's just decent. So
yeah,
I think C is a good spot for it.
I could go C or D. I'll agree. I'll agree on C.
Yeah, I could see it being like maybe D tier too, but I've always viewed C as like average.
Yeah, I could
and
agree
then
with that.
Below average, and I definitely think Advance Wars doesn't deserve to be called below average.
That's fair. Animal Crossing. It's
All right,
okay.
Byron, what do you think?
It's okay. It's just a life simulator. It's become a like fucking cornerstone of Nintendo.
Oh yeah, for good reason too.
Yeah. Little controversial right here.
Whoa.
Little
Look.
controversial.
I don't. Animal Crossing isn't my cup of tea either.
Little,
But I know when to pay respect when respects are due.
little controversial. I could probably go C or D. More likely C, probably. But like, again,
Okay, well, that's crazy. Here's the thing. I think Animal Crossing is an A tier series. Primarily because, a lot of people find them infinitely replayable. You can customize your island. It's kind of like Minecraft before Minecraft was a thing. Obviously, you don't have the same freedom of like building and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's a fantastic series, and there's a reason why people swear by it. You know what I mean? Like, as I said, it's not my cup of tea personally. I've never really gotten into games like that for the most part.
Yeah.
But a lot of people love that game for like really good reason, Byron.
So like, I say
I could
C.
see maybe B tier.
Yeah,
at,
like
the
because like you're saying A, I say C. I think B for now is
yeah, I
the
think we can put it in B for now. But yeah, no, it's a fantastic series. People love those games for a reason.
Bayonetta. Now,
all right. So for anybody who plays the hack and slash genre, Bayonetta is a fantastic game. I would argue it's only second to the Devil May Cry series in the genre. Fantastic. It's a Nintendo series, even though I think they're going to go back to going multi-plat again due to the acquisition from is it Tencent that bought them out?
I believe it was Tencent. Yeah.
Like I said, you either love or you hate hack and slashes. I love those types of games, so I would put Bayonetta as an A tier game. As I said, I know a lot of people aren't really into that genre. So, Byron, what are your opinions on it?
Maybe like B or C, probably. Because I think I remember playing it like one of those like fucking Wii U kiosks when they existed. Remember those times? I think it was Bayo 2, I want to say.
I think Bayo 2 was the first one to come out. And then they did a collection that packaged Bayo 1 and Bayo 2.
Yeah, I had an okay time with the brief demo that I played in the kiosk. But like, so I'd probably put it like either B or C.
I'm so excited for Bayonetta 3. Yeah, let's go ahead and put it in B. I personally think it's an A tier franchise, but I can see that, like, once again, these types of games aren't for everybody. So let's move on to the next one, Brain Age.
Brain Age. I have a little more knowledge in that. I, for some reason, still have a card of the second game, even though I no longer have a DS. And me and my older sister used to play this all the time. I would say, though, it's not really a game when you think about it. But like, that's not the point of the series. However, I don't know. I'm feeling C or D.
Well, it's edutainment, right?
Yeah, it is one of the better edutainment games out there in the world.
Yeah, but I think Brain Age is pretty fantastic. I know I've played it, and I know a lot of people who played it. It was on the Nintendo DS.
Very popular.
I would think C is pretty fair. Maybe I would say probably B, honestly, but I think it could sit in C tier for now.
Yeah,
I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
As I said, it's great for what it does and whatnot. I'm being a bit unfair. I actually think it's an A tier game. Because the thing about like edutainment games is they're extremely hit and miss.
That's fair.
I just feel like when you hit as well as Brain Age has, that deserves to be recognized. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think for now, in the middle again.
Let's put it in B. Let's put it in B.
B tier.
Yeah. Wow, he thinks this is the best series. Don't get me wrong, I definitely think it's an A or S.
Well, because like I do want to put it in S tier. The only reason I want to put it in A tier is because of like a couple of games, like the fact that Donkey Konga fucking exists in the first place.
Well, every series has their highs and lows. I
Donkey,
mean, once again, the CDI Zelda games exist.
but
So.
yeah, and like Donkey Kong 64, which I played on my stream for a couple hours, and I was like, besides like maybe
I
the
just
swimming
want to say,
controls, it's
I
like
personally love Donkey Kong 64. I am aware it's a very flawed game,
yeah,
but I still love it.
yeah, like why didn't Rare have the swimming controls of that in Banjo? Like swimming controls in Donkey Kong 64 were great. They're actually great. I could tolerate them, and that's fucking wild for an N64
I just
3D
thought that the swimming
platformer.
controls for Donkey Kong 64 were kind of more modeled off of Super Mario 64. Like they saw how they did in Banjo, like, maybe we should change this up. But
But
I don't know. Okay,
like
so
other than that,
Byron and I are going to disagree. I don't think it's the best series in the entire series. Remember when I said it was 2D Zelda, but he still got Mario above it. I think Donkey Kong is a low S tier series. I think it's an S tier series overall.
yeah,
Primarily because the Donkey Kong Country and as well as Donkey Kong Country Returns games are absolutely fantastic.
mm-hmm.
The weak point of the 2D Donkey Kong might be Donkey Kong Country 3.
But like that's not saying much because all 5 games
That's not
are
saying much because that game's also fantastic.
yeah, all 5
And
games are
then,
good.
Donkey Kong 64, it's not the best game in the world. It obviously has its flaws.
Mm-hmm.
I still like it as a collectathon for the most part. The only thing that really hurts it is the backtracking.
Oh my god. 5 Kongs.
Yeah,
5
obviously Donkey Konga exists and
sets of bananas.
has its fair share of spin-offs that aren't the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that a series should be judged based off either its spin-offs or maybe 1 or 2 poor titles. I think when you look at the series as a whole and you see some fantastic games in there,
Yeah,
it deserves to be recognized as such.
I think I think like third time we could probably agree overall DK.
I definitely
S tier
think it's a
franchise.
high A tier or low S tier, so I think that's a good spot for it.
All right, while I do have the Excite Bike logo, this will represent all 4 Excite games. The 2 Excite Bike games, and then Excite Trucks and Excite Bots.
So I've only ever played the original for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fun game. I'm not going to say it wasn't, but it wasn't something that like I obsessively played or like I really liked. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm half tempted to go C or D on this one.
Yeah, I'm good with that ranking because, as I said, it's not a series that I particularly really got into or whatnot that I like particularly enjoy. But I mean, it's a series that happened. It has its place in Nintendo's history and whatnot.
Yeah, it's got its place.
Yeah. F-Zero.
Can we get the military horns out for this one?
Oh yeah, and then just everybody get your salutes in chat.
Yeah, get your salutes in there. Because F-Zero is dead. It is deader than dead. It's a good series of racing games. It's
so good. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and start on this.
Yeah.
I think this is an A tier series. It's just a shame that it's dead. F-Zero GX is one of the best racing games I think I have ever played.
It's a good racing game, yeah. I'll give it that. It's pretty good.
It's a shame that like the series is just completely and totally dead because like I think there was a lot of potential with the super high speed going millions of miles per hour racing.
Yeah.
You could also like crash the other vehicles and whatnot. Was it 128 vehicles in a single race or something?
I think
on the like GameCube?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty insane at the time, right?
Yeah.
So I really like F-Zero. I think it's a shame that it's a dead series because I think F-Zero would do well on the Switch today. And I understand that there was 2 GBA games and they totally and completely flopped. I can't ascertain to their quality whether or not they were any good.
And
like I said, it's a shame the series is dead.
I'm gonna say high B.
Yeah, that's fair. I think high B, low A is where I was thinking anyway.
Also, I love how the way we have everything aligned, it looks like a fucking F. And speaking of F,
That's crazy.
speaking of F, Fire Emblem with its giant
Okay,
fucking F.
so you guys can already expect me and Byron to have wildly different opinions on this.
I don't even have an opinion on this series. I've never
Okay,
played a
well,
single
all right,
game
awesome.
from it. So you get the floor on this, and yeah.
So this is another strategy RPG like Advance Wars. I would argue Fire Emblem is massively more expanded on than Advance Wars is.
Oh,
To me,
absolutely.
so Fire Emblem's kind of saw a bit of a resurgence since 2012, 2013 when Awakening came out. Um, all in all, I think it's a fantastic RPG series. The earlier games are obviously a bit dated.
Yeah.
Anything before the GBA games in particular. But all in all, I think Fire Emblem is an A tier series that's just only going to get better and better as the games become more and more modern. I would put it in S tier, but I can't let my biases really take that much of an effect.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously no 3D Super Mario or any of those series up there. But all in all, I absolutely love Fire Emblem, and I can't wait to see what the next game in the series does.
I'll agree. I'll agree to A for now. The Game & Watch series.
Isn't it just one game?
There was like a series of like Game & Watch systems
Oh,
that had like their own like
okay.
little game on them, and like there's been multiple like Game & Watch collections on like Game Boy Advanced. And I know there was one for like DS, but it was like Club Nintendo exclusive.
Okay.
Remember when that was a thing? Fucking Club Nintendo.
Club Nintendo, yeah, that takes me back.
I think it goes in the same place as Excite. It was like
it has its place in gaming history. For sure.
Like it helped shape and it helped create the D-pad.
Yeah.
For Christ's sake, the D-pad. Like I can't give it an F. I can only give it a D.
Yeah, well now we're getting close to an E, so let's go through the whole alphabet.
Can we get another salute in here? Can we get another one in here for Golden?
There's so many good dead Nintendo series. It actually makes me sad. Golden Sun, fantastic RPGs. I felt like the other games didn't really live up to the first one. I felt like the first one was the best one, and then the other ones were just either decent or okay. To me, this is probably a C rank series as well.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
If this was a one-off and it was just the first game, it'd be an easy A tier. But I think there's 2 other games afterwards, and I played the second one.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's 2 other games, and then Camelot. Welcome to the Mario Sports Club.
Because that's all they make are Mario Sports game. This is a game that I think the first one in particular could use a remaster. And I think this could be like Nintendo's competitive turn-based RPG series, especially since another certain series is dead. So,
okay. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, so yeah, I think this is a C tier series overall. I love Golden Sun. I really want to see the first game remastered.
I can agree with that. Kid Icarus. I think it's had 2 or 3 games.
I believe it's just the original and the one on the 3DS.
Yeah.
Which is Kid Icarus Uprising.
Yeah.
I don't know, because here's the thing. When I look at Kid Icarus, I always viewed the original very differently from Uprising. I think Uprising is fantastic. It's kind of like it's the first Star Fox game since Star Fox 64 to actually be good. That's what I have to say about Kid Icarus Uprising. That being said, I don't know where to put this because I think Kid Icarus Uprising is an A tier game, but I do not like the original at all. I think the original is just an uninspired 2D platformer.
I'm about to blow your mind. There was a Kid Icarus Game Boy game.
Oh, there was.
1991. It was called Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters.
So there's 3 games. Okay.
Yes.
Is it another 2D platformer, I'm guessing?
Yeah, action platformer. Yeah.
Okay. like I said, Uprising is an A tier game, but then I guess the original platformers are really like D tier. I'm gonna say it's a B tier franchise.
Re-
It's a shame they haven't got anything more.
really, I'm tempted to fucking just. I guess we'll meet in the middle and say C.
Yeah,
I
as I said,
guess.
I honestly think if we saw more games since Uprising, but to be fair, Sakurai has also been working tirelessly on Smash,
And we'll
so
get
that's
to
why
that
we
in a
haven't
minute.
seen another one.
Yeah.
I love seeing Sakurai work on other projects. Honestly, I hope after this DLC pack that like he's just done with Smash,
Mhm.
and that we get to see what other things that he gets to make. Because I think he's a fantastic game developer.
Mhm.
And as I said, Kid Icarus Uprising was really amazing.
Mhm.
And that's what he did with Kid Icarus, which wasn't that inspiring to begin with.
Uh,
I just can't imagine what else he could do. Like,
speaking of another Sakurai franchise, Kirby.
yeah, this is a franchise he hasn't been involved with for a long time. The thing about Kirby is, in terms of their 2D platforms, they're kind of more an introduction to the genre than anything else.
Yeah.
So they're not as engaging or inspiring as your Donkey Kongs or your 2D Marios and stuff like that. But it's still an overall fantastic franchise. You also have really good Kirby spin-offs, like that fighting game that came out that's really unbalanced. I guess I shouldn't use that as a good example.
Yeah.
You also have things like Kirby's Air Ride and stuff like that.
Give us Kirby's Air Ride 2, Nintendo,
Yeah,
please.
you do it, you cowards. Do it.
B tier.
You think it's B tier? I think it's either B or A. But the thing about their 2D Kirby games is they're kind of hit and miss.
Yeah, yeah.
Like some of the Kirby games are absolutely and totally fantastic,
Mhm.
and then some of them are just kind of like, I don't really feel engaged while playing this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. That's why I am putting it in B.
I would put it at the top of B tier, and then depending on what other games we put, maybe we move it up to A, maybe we leave it there. But yeah, for sure.
All right. Luigi's Mansion.
We're gonna have differing opinions on this. I can already tell. Byron, you can go first.
Maybe B.
B. Yeah. So the thing about Luigi's Mansion for me is everyone loves the first one, right?
Yes, and people.
I felt like the series kind of nosedived after that.
Mhm. Well, and remember, Slade, people were angry. I wouldn't say angry. They were just like, "What the fuck are you doing, Nintendo, with the 3DS port of Luigi's Mansion?"
Yeah.
Because the Switch was out at the time.
So this is going to be my controversial hot take. Because I said I think the series nosedived at the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't really love the first one as it is, but I acknowledge that it was a fantastic game.
Mhm.
I'm going to say it's a D tier franchise.
A D.
I think that instead of chasing interesting level design and whatnot, they instead chose to chase multiplayer. So
interesting.
yeah.
Well,
that's my super hot take. I feel like I've kind of been in line with the majority opinion
until now. So I guess you think it's D. I think it's low B, maybe high C. So I think for now we'll put it in mid C then.
Yeah, I would put it below Kid Icarus and Golden Sun, but maybe I'm a hater.
Alrighty. Okay. You have probably never played a single Mario and Sonic game.
I actually have.
You have?
I've played it with friends, family members, and stuff like that. It's kind of like I love like Olympic-based games, but these games are hit and miss for me.
Yeah, I have a little more knowledge on the series. The first game, it obviously had first in the series issues, like a lot of first games do.
Yes.
It's still good, but the second game, the first Winter Olympics game, Vancouver, and then London were great games, but then the series nosedived for a bit on Wii U, and then it came back up with the Switch release, which that Olympics still hasn't happened.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
But high C.
High C? I would say low B, honestly.
Really? Okay. Well,
yeah, because I think it's a fantastic spin-off series. It's great seeing Mario and Sonic starring in a game together in particular, especially considering their 90s rivalry.
Well, most people would rather prefer a platformer, but
oh yeah,
but that's never happening.
I think they're fantastic games for the most part. I could concede that maybe it's a high C franchise.
Yeah.
But overall, Mario and Sonic is great. I hope that the Tokyo Olympics happen sometime soon.
Actually, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna actually.
You're
There.
just gonna go ahead and plan it in low B. Yeah, because the thing is, like, I don't think it's. I like it more than like Brain Age. Definitely not more than Bayonetta, but I have a bias towards the genre of games.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that's a good spot for it.
Yeah. Woo, the Mac Daddy, the game people say killed this over here, Mario Kart.
Oh, killed F-Zero. Yeah, this is an easy S tier
Yeah.
because
It's Mario Kart.
I think all the Mario Kart games are fantastic for the most part. I would argue maybe the mobile phone game is probably the only one that isn't great.
Okay, I'm gonna have to disagree with you just a little bit there, which it does make me half tempted to put Mario Kart in A because A, Super Mario Kart, and B,
Super Mario Kart is one of the best games ever made. You shut your mouth.
No, it's not. Have you
Yes,
played
it
it
is.
recently?
You need to get good. For what it was at the time, it was revolutionary.
Well, yeah,
I
I can appreciate for what it did at the time, but playing it now, oh god, no. Also, Super Circuit, the GBA game. It was okay,
Super Circuit,
but
I mean, it's not great, but like,
and then obviously like the mobile phone game, like. So I'm half tempted to.
That's blasphemy. Mario Kart is an S tier series. I won't hear anything else. Because you got like Mario Kart Double Dash, Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart Wii. All of them were absolutely amazing, fantastic games. We're still playing Mario Kart 8, even though like Nintendo, please end our suffering. We want Mario Kart 9.
I have 745 hours into 8 Deluxe.
Yep, I'm pretty sure I broke somewhere over 2,000 hours because I also played Mario Kart 8 religiously on Wii U as well.
I did not play it that much on Wii U actually, and that was when I had more chances to have IRL people over. But most of the time, we just played fucking Nintendo Land.
Yeah. All in all, Mario Kart's a fantastic series. Like, I guess you almost can't go wrong with which Mario Kart you play.
But you can.
But there's obviously some that are better than others.
Yeah.
But to me, it's an easy S tier. I might even put it above Donkey Kong, but we'll put it at the bottom of S tier.
For me,
Bloodlust.
For me, it's either high A or middle of the road S.
Yeah. So just put it at the bottom of S.
Speaking of another Mario series, that is Mario Party.
On this one.
Mario. Will we though?
Yes. So okay, so you think it's an A tier franchise?
I think it's either high B or A.
I'm gonna go against you. I actually think it's a D tier franchise.
Whoa, what the fuck?
So the thing about Mario Party is I felt like it's a series that really peaked towards the end of the 64 and during the GameCube. But I felt like it really nosedived during the Wii and Wii U era. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Super Mario Party is good enough to really bring it back from like the brinks of where it like fell.
Okay, now I partially agree with that last. Well, I agree obviously like during the latter half of the Wii days and like the Wii U, it was just like ugh, Mario Party.
Yeah, that's what
like,
I'm saying.
Ugh.
And as I said, I don't think Super Mario Party is actually all that good. I think it's a return to form for the series, but they need to build and improve on that. They don't need to stagnate. And not only that, but when you could say that half the games are really good and then half the games are like terrible, then I don't think that's a mark of like a marquee franchise. I think that's a franchise that's definitely lost its way. I honestly, as I said, I would put it in D tier, but I know that like if this was just talking about like Mario Party like 3 through 6, it would be an S tier franchise. So to me, I'm really torn on this because at that point, when you have a bunch of amazing games, a bunch of terrible games, it really just averages out to average. But I will concede that those games that were amazing for Mario Party were amazing enough for me to maybe bring it up to C or B. But you can't just ignore that half the games for the most part are pretty terrible.
Yeah, I think I can agree with you, like around B probably.
I think I'd put it at bottom of B at the absolute highest.
Oh,
I actually think in terms of consistency, Mario and Sonic is a better series. And that's really saying something.
When Mario and Sonic though kind of has a similar problem to Mario Party, like it's half though.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
All right.
Because I feel like the bad Mario Party games are like really awful.
Yeah.
Whereas like the bad Mario and Sonic games, at least they're still fun, casual, playable. Honestly, and I've played, Mario Party 9 and 10 with like lots of family and friends and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was fun, but they just didn't have the magic that every Mario Party game between 2 and like 6 had. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my opinion.
Well, my family really loved playing 8. And I think that's a decent Mario Party, but others can disagree.
That's fair.
So we talked Camelot earlier. We can partially fill them in on this. The Super Mario sports, all the sports, the soccer or football, as it's called in some regions of the world, the golf, the tennis, the Mario sports compilation games, because there are apparently 2 of those. But
Mario Strikers.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, just Mario Sports. I'm gonna say, I feel like all the like weird Mario spin-offs just fit in B for some reason. They just,
I'm kind of with you there. Although I'd probably say Mario Sports is a little bit better. But then again, Mario Sports some of those Mario Sports games have its fair share of stinkers too.
Yeah.
The tennis game on the Wii U in particular stands out. That game was not good by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
But Mario Strikers is one of my favorite multiplayer video games, and it's an absolutely fantastic. Mario Tennis Aces for the Switch is fantastic. I think it's a really fantastic game for the most part. I don't think there's been a bad Mario Golf game. I think they've all been fantastic for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Right now, for me, I would actually put it above Mario Party, but below Animal Crossing. So, I think it's a B tier series.
That's a bit spicy.
It has high highs and low lows. It's not too different from the other Mario spin-offs in that regard. So, yeah, I actually think putting them all around the same place is right.
I don't like doing this. I don't like doing what I just did, but I had to do it.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea either.
No,
honestly,
but hold on.
Puzzle games for the most part, right?
I think there's like fucking 7 of them.
Yeah.
They went that nuts. There was, okay, well, technically, Donkey Kong 94, which is Donkey Kong Game Boy, is technically part of this. Because it's not technically called Mario vs. Donkey Kong. But it was the game that brought this series. But then, obviously, the first game...
Yeah, we consider it part of the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series.
Yeah. The first 2 games, great. Great puzzle platformers, fun games. The other games, the minis and the touchscreens, it's like, no. Like, that's what makes me want to put it in fucking D tier. And I don't want to put it in D tier, but I feel like it needs to go in D tier.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of with you there. I honestly never quite understood the appeal, and maybe the series is actually good and a lot of people like it for a reason. But the thing is, I never hear anybody really talk about the series. You know what I mean?
Which is sad, because like the first 2 games were great puzzle platformers.
Yeah.
And I want more of them, please. Somebody make more, please.
Yeah, I think D is a good spot for this franchise. Let's go ahead and leave it there.
Yeah. And like I said, I feel disgusted, but like it deserves it.
All right.
Actually, let's do regular Metroid first.
All right. So Metroid is a fantastic series. Coined the term Metroidvania for a really good reason.
Yep.
All of the 2D Metroid games, from my understanding, are really fantastic. I've played the original Super Metroid as well as Metroid Fusion. I have not gotten the chance to play Samus Returns, but I heard that game was also fantastic. And there's another one I'm forgetting about as well.
Super Metroid.
No, I played Super Metroid.
Oh.
Honestly, I would say this is an A tier series. Metroid is absolutely and totally fantastic with 2D Metroid. You really can't go wrong.
It's
Um,
it's not my
I'm almost tempted to put it in S tier,
I
honestly.
will stop you from putting it in S tier. My good sir, I can agree with A. I don't see the appeal, but I get why there's so much appeal. So
Metroidvanias are just so
yeah,
good. So
it's not my cup of tea, but like I will agree. I will acquiesce and give you Metroid an A tier. I will not let that happen though.
yeah, well the thing is, the reason why I think it's S because I think Metroid, Super Metroid is one of the greatest video games ever made.
Mhm.
And I think it's competitive with A Link to the Past to the best game on the platform, which the thing is the Super Nintendo was loaded. Like a lot of the best games of all time, a lot of the games in the discussion are definitely Super Nintendo games. So it's
Mhm.
actually pretty nuts.
Yeah.
And Super Metroid's a large part of that. So all in all, I don't think I liked Metroid Fusion or the other Metroid games as much
Mhm.
as Super Metroid,
Yeah.
but I think overall the games are still fantastic. So yeah, I agree with A tier. I would put it above Fire Emblem and 3D
Oh,
Super Mario, in my opinion.
I would not.
So the thing about 3D Super Mario is the only game of the entire 3D Super Mario list I'd argue over any Metroid game would be Super Mario 64. But I think Metroid's consistency overall and greatness, and that's something you could also say about 3D Mario. I just feel like Metroid's better than 3D Mario games, but I don't know. If you want to go ahead and leave it there, that's fine.
Mhm. Prime.
Metroid Prime. So I love the original Metroid Prime. It's one of my favorite video games of all time. The
Mhm.
controls are a little bit dated, but if you play the trilogy on Wii, then you don't have to worry about that dated Prime because it's motion control,
Mhm.
which brings its own set of problems, sure.
Yeah.
But all in all, Metroid Prime is an absolutely fantastic series. 1 and 2 are incredible, incredible games.
Mhm.
Um, 3 unfortunately falls off a bit to where it's still a really good game, but it's not
Mhm.
the masterpiece I view the first two at.
Mhm.
This is also an A tier franchise for me. It's
Okay.
not quite as good as 2D Metroid, but I think Metroid Prime is absolutely fantastic. I'm so glad that they restarted development on 4
Yeah.
and they turned it back over to Retro Studios
Mhm.
because I would hate to see what Metroid Prime 4 would have turned out to be if they didn't restart development on it. Honestly, it's one of those games that was probably announced too early,
Oh,
and
it
that's
was
really uncharacteristic of Nintendo.
yeah, like it's like yeah, that was announced way too early, IMO. I get why they announced it
Honestly,
when they did, but like
yeah.
they still shouldn't have.
Honestly, I don't think it's anywhere near as good overall as like the Metroid series,
Mhm.
but I still view it above all the other series after that aforementioned. So
Mhm.
yeah, easy A tier, easy A tier.
Now, if we included other M, let's slide this down.
No,
Okay, okay. We're not. I just made
we don't talk about other M.
I just
It
made
never
every
happened.
Metroid fan listening or watching this roll their eyes at me, and I love it.
Yeah, we don't talk about other
Uh,
M. It
all
never
right.
happened.
A series that is finished. It will. There is no other games for it. There are, I think, what, just 3 or 4 games for the series, the Mother Earthbound series.
Yes, and all of them are absolutely fantastic masterpieces. This is an easy A tier for me. Even though it's a series that's like complete, it says calling it dead. I would just call it completed.
Yeah. I can't call this series dead because, like, didn't the series creator say, yeah, it's done? Like, the story is over. Like,
Yeah, like it's
yeah,
just a completed series.
yeah.
Um, you'll never see another game in the series. That's fine.
Mhm.
Really charming RPGs. I would recommend anybody gets their hands on them to play them. I absolutely love them. I think in terms of RPGs, Mother's the definitive series for Nintendo overall. So yeah, definitely give them a try if you haven't played one.
I'll agree. I'll agree to put that. No, not that
Ooh,
series yet. Nintendo Dogs plus Cats, basically the Nintenimals series
yeah,
of games.
Nintenimals games. Uh, I'm gonna go a step further. I think it's an F tier series. I honestly do
Yeah.
not understand the appeal of playing with an
Yeah.
imaginary pet.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. I agree. Yeah. Yeah. I'm willing to. Our first F tier. It took like what, almost 20 series, and we have an F tier.
like if you want to play with a pet, like get an actual pet. Like I'm
well,
sorry.
well, some people don't want an actual pet because like
No,
good,
it's true because
good.
then there's responsibility that comes with
Well,
it.
well, it's
Yeah,
also
I get it.
it's also expensive.
Also true, but
Uh,
I don't know. I honestly like we're haters. I'm sure there's some Nintendogs lovers out there. I've never understood the appeal.
mhm. All right, Pikmin.
Okay. This is gonna be my next controversial take
Okay.
overall.
Okay.
This is a D tier series for me. The reason why I think Pikmin's a D tier series is I think the first game is fantastic, and honestly, the second game is pretty good too.
Mhm.
I don't think Pikmin 3 is really good at all.
Mhm.
And all in all, I think Pikmin was kind of like one of those one off flashes in the pan that they really tried to make work overall.
Yeah.
But and it might just because like the games aren't my cup of tea because it's more like a puzzle game how you utilize your Pikmin and resource management.
Yeah.
But all in all, I don't think Pikmin as a series as a whole is really great. You know, I'm being too harsh. It's a C tier series. It's a C tier series.
I can agree. I was gonna be like, man, you're the one being harsh on this one. I would have put it at like at least bottom C maybe.
Yeah, I think you put it above Luigi's Mansion and Kid Icarus, but that's about right where I would put it.
Mhm.
All right, Pokemon.
Yep,
This is gonna be the longest conversation out of
uh
all these.
for you maybe.
Oh yeah.
So I have only played one mainline Pokemon game, and that is Pokemon Emerald. That is the one Pokemon game that I have ever played. So Slade, take the floor now on this.
Okay, so I've played literally every mainline Pokemon game,
Mhm.
and to me, this is plagued by many problems. It's a series that has gotten progressively worse
Mhm.
since its original release. Well, that's not true. It improved on its original release up until Generation 5, and then it's progressively gotten worse.
Mhm.
It depends on what you think in terms of like game design. I'm one of those people who thinks Pokemon is a fantastic series,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of people who think Pokemon was never a good series. So
Yeah.
all in all, I think Pokemon is probably a B tier series overall.
B.
Um,
Okay.
I think every game since the X and Y, and this includes X and Y in that, has kind
Mhm.
of slowly devolved to, oh, what's the latest gimmick of the series?
Oh
And then
yeah.
they've replaced that gimmick pretty much every generation.
Can't wait.
And I feel like they're more focused on their gimmicks and battle balance than they are in terms of like the single player experience, animations, graphics.
Mhm.
I think Pokemon might have been better off sticking with pixels instead of going
Oh.
to 3D models.
Oh,
Um,
that's
well,
contra.
if they're not going to animate the 3D models and it's going to look completely and totally lifeless, then what's the point, right?
What's the point? People shit on pixel indie games. So like,
That's not okay. People who do that are honestly dumb. And I will sit here and tell you, you can make pixel games look fantastic. If anyone here has ever played Octopath Traveler, that game looks stunning. The game looks absolutely stunning. And it has, HD lighting and stuff like that. Pokemon could very easily do something like that, in my
well, and
opinion.
I assume people would be like, "Oh, Nintendo's got lots of money. Why aren't they doing 3D for
It's because
Pokemon?"
they don't have to. Because the thing about Pokemon is they know it's going to sell its 10 to 15 million units regardless.
Yeah, or in,
So they don't really have to make an effort to make the mainline games fantastic.
yeah.
Um, Actually, you know what? I think it's at the bottom of B tier or the top of C. It's a real shame because, like I said, consistency really hurts this franchise.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's my opinion. What do you think, Byron?
The hottest take. You only get the hottest takes here. Brain Age cumulatively is better than Pokemon. That is the hot take of the day to take from this. It
I will put it in
seems.
B tier. Let's go ahead and put it in B
All
tier.
right.
'Cause I
Well.
think maybe C is a bit harsh.
All right.
Yeah.
I won't put it above Mario spin-offs, basically. But that's just obviously
That's
my
a shame.
preference. But
That's a shame. Okay, so the next one are the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games.
yes.
See, now this one I could feel good about because I think all the Mystery Dungeon games are absolutely fantastic. Explorers of Sky and Time, in particular, are some of the greatest games of the genre ever made.
Mhm.
This is an easy A tier for me. This goes to show that, you know, Pokemon can be a fantastic series if the games are made well. And this is going to be where I put this because I don't think there's a bad Mystery Dungeon game. I think they're all great.
I'm only half tempted to put it at like top tier of B.
The thing is, I believe that the Mystery Dungeon game are at least a full tier above the mainline games, but that's just my opinion.
That's fair. That's fair.
And that's not to say that there aren't mainline games that are as good as Mystery Dungeon, because I think the Generation 3, 4, and the Generation 5 games are definitely up there with the Mystery Dungeon games. I would actually argue some of them are even better.
Yeah.
But the overall consistency for Mystery Dungeon is definitely worth putting in A tier.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Spin-offs.
So Pokemon spin-offs.
This includes this includes the stadium games. This includes the Coliseum games. This includes that weird Pokemon DS racing game that we don't talk about. Pokemon Channel, like basically anything that's not mainline game / the Let's Go games or like the Mystery Dungeon games. Basically,
So yeah,
literally
you have
everything.
Pokemon Snap. You have the stadium games, like you said. You have Pokemon Coliseum as well as Gale of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Battle Revolution. Now, this to me is peak Pokemon. The Pokemon spinoffs are absolutely peak Pokemon.
Really?
So this is where they get really creative with Pokemon in the genre overall. This is going to be my hottest take. This is an S tier.
What?
So,
what the fuck? No. Whoa.
Yes, this is an S tier. And let me explain why. Pokemon
Okay.
Snap is revolutionary at its time. Being able to explore the world of Pokemon, take really good, interesting, unique fun. You could interact with the world and whatnot. It's all in all a fantastic game. Pokemon Stadium is what 3D Pokemon should really aspire to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the graphics are a bit aged, but at its time, it had animations that were honestly pretty legendary and whatnot. And it really expanded on what Pokemon battles could be and kind of made them the spectacle we thought they would be.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Sword and Shield kind of pretend to be on that level, but they're really like not even close. You also have Pokemon Coliseum and Gale of Darkness, which are standalone phenomenal RPGs. They're not even Pokemon games; they're straight up RPGs.
Yeah, and I think you streamed a Nuzlocke of one of them.
Yes, the Coliseum, and it was fun. Like I always have a good experience whenever I play Coliseum or Gale of Darkness. Honestly speaking, like when you in terms of Pokemon spinoffs, you even have like Pokemon Pinball, which is absolutely fantastic, and Pokemon Puzzle League. Like
okay,
yeah, this is an easy S tier for me. It's definitely an easy S tier.
For me,
it's actually insane that the spinoffs are what define Pokemon for me more than either Mystery Dungeon or the initial Pokemon series. Now you could argue that maybe Gale of Darkness and Coliseum are quote mainline Pokemon games, but I don't agree with that.
So as someone who just recently played Pokemon Pinball, it's okay for a pinball game. As someone who has played a lot of fucking pinball games, both on and off stream, it's okay. Pokemon Puzzle League is great. You are an IMO. You are a little nuts putting Pokemon spinoffs in S tier.
Yeah, see, as I said, this to me, this is peak Pokemon. This is what I view the Pokemon franchise could be if the maximum amount of effort was put into the series. At the very least, it's better than everything in A tier, and that includes the 3D Mario games. I know that's insane to say.
Hot take.
I know that's insane to say, but this is just, in my opinion, like, I just don't see why the level of effort put into these Pokemon games aren't put into the mainline games. Ooh. You also have Pokken, which is a fantastic fighting game. So it's like
that died.
It's still a fantastic fighting game, Byron. Like you can't forget that.
I would actually be curious. to see what like our individual tier list would be, because this is the cumulative. I think we'll probably put down in the comments below what our personal tier lists are, because like that would be fucking curious.
Yeah, I could do that, honestly. I haven't really
Yeah.
been doing any of that myself. I've kind of just been looking at your screen. But
That's
if
fair,
you
but
we can put it in A tier for now. I
Yeah.
definitely think it's better than the Mystery Dungeon series as a whole.
yeah,
Even though I would argue Explorers of Time and Sky
Mhm.
are competitive with the best of the Pokemon spinoffs. But
Mhm.
all in all, to me, the Pokemon spinoffs are the direction. Like a lot of the really good Pokemon spinoffs are the direction I want to see them
Mhm.
take the main series games. Because it's a real shame that there's so many stinkers in the main series.
And I thought I was gonna have some of the hottest takes today. No, no. Okay. Punch Out. High D, probably.
That's insane.
High D,
So
probably
somebody's
C.
played Mike Tyson's Punch Out as well as the one on Wii.
Yes. That's it.
I
That's
think
it. Though.
this is easily a low A, high B.
Whoa.
It's unfortunate that we don't get a lot of releases for this, but Mike Tyson's Punch Out, fighting against Mike Tyson himself, is one of the most fun, challenging boss fights in video game history. Honestly speaking, like I love like the really over the top animations of the Wii version as well.
Yeah. Also,
I think it's a fantastic series. I would go high B, low A, but maybe I think B is fine.
You know what? I can accept B.
I definitely think it's better than all the Mario spin-offs and Animal Crossing, but that's also just my take.
Oh, that's your take.
I think at minimum you put it around F-Zero and Animal Crossing, but that's just me.
I'll put it for now better than Pokemon.
Fair enough.
The hot takes you get on this channel, Punch Out is better than mainline Pokemon. That is the hot takes you get here on this channel.
Mainline Pokemon.
Rhythm Heaven.
So Rhythm Heaven's a really good, feel-good, fantastic game. I've personally never played them. Byron, what's your take on this?
They're fun rhythm games. Which is not a genre you see a lot of, like, just in general. It's not like fucking Rock Band or Guitar Hero that uses like licensed songs. However, I'm tempted to either put it in C or like in upper B. I think for now I'm gonna put it in C, but what do you think?
So I'm looking at this list more and more. I think it's a B tier franchise. I think now that this list has started to evolve, I think Rhythm Heaven, Golden Sun, and Advance Wars are all B tier games compared to the rest of the games on the list. Because I think there's a bit of a gap between Golden Sun and Pikmin for me. And I feel like it's not that far below, Brain Age or the mainline Pokemon games overall. So, like I said, I wanted to see this list evolve a bit before, we move some things around.
Yeah.
If it were up to me, obviously, I do think Rhythm Heaven's a B tier game. I think Advance Wars and Golden Sun could also go up there. I don't know. What do you think?
I kind of want to evolve this a little more. I'll keep these there for now, but like they could.
Yeah, because looking at this, I feel like maybe there isn't really a need for our D tier or our F tier, and then we can move up Excite by Game Watch and the Mario games to C tier.
No, those are D tier.
You don't think? Okay.
Nah, like I can't.
Well, I can't. We really don't like Nintendogs.
Well, no, yeah, like obviously we're not the key demographic.
I said I just don't think there's a significant gap between Advance Wars and Golden Sun and Brain Age. But that's just my opinion.
That's fair. We could also bump Brain Age down to C.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with that too.
Because that was my thinking. I'm half tempted to bump this, but you would fucking crucify. You would crucify me for bumping Bayonetta down to C.
That's an A series right there. Super Smash Brothers, Nintendo's big hype franchise.
Yeah, it is the hype machine, and
everybody loves it. It's one of the greatest spectacles in all of video gaming. In terms of like gameplay and whatnot, I wouldn't say it's the best series out there, but for what it represents, it's an S tier. So the thing is, in terms of the games individually, I think casually speaking, Brawl is the best one. You have a cohesive single-player storyline that's also
Mhm.
two-player. Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is
Um,
2-player. Yeah.
kind of has a bit of like a platformer thing going on with it.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, Smash 4 and Ultimate
Yeah.
kind of really dampened that experience. But it's also one
Yeah.
of the single greatest multiplayer franchises of all time, both
Absolutely.
casually and competitively. I think it's the bottom of S tier.
Yeah. I either bottom of S or top 2 of A.
Yeah,
I can agree.
actually, I'm with putting it at the top of A tier. The thing is, even though Smash Bros is absolutely fantastic
Mhm.
and an absolute spectacle,
Yeah.
I feel like talking about Smash Brothers and viewing it as the video game Hall of Fame that it is
Is S tier.
should be, yeah, it's absolutely S tier. It's the highest on the list, honestly. But in terms of like the gameplay and whatnot,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
really just A tier. So like,
Yeah.
if this is a tier list we're objectively like grading based off of just gameplay,
Play.
then it's an A tier game.
Yeah.
But it's an A tier series.
Mhm.
But if it's for what it represents, then it's S tier.
Yeah.
So
And this list is like a mixture. So like, for, put it.
you know, put it at the bottom of S tier for now.
All right.
That's where I'm at.
All right. Star Fox.
Oh no, I have to be that guy.
AKA Star Fox 64 to Star Fox 64 remaking on DS, Star Fox 64 with 2 screens that nobody fucking asked for.
Okay, so I have to be consistent because I shit on mainline Pokemon for being wildly inconsistent. I have to do the same to Star Fox. Star Fox to me is a D tier series. The thing about Star Fox is the
Yeah.
first game as well as 64 are absolutely incredible games. They're marvels in video
Mhm.
games. They inspired a whole genre. Star Fox is fantastic. The
Yeah.
problem is
Literally everything else.
everything that came after it. Yes.
Well,
Star Fox Adventures is like
Mhm.
probably one of the worst Zelda games ever made.
Mhm. I will say though, Star Fox Assault multiplayer is great.
Yeah, Star Fox multiplayer was it though, but
Yeah, but
even that game wasn't terribly fantastic. That one that came out for the DS, what was it called?
oh, Star Fox Command. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
that game was just bad. And then like you know, maybe D is a bit harsh, maybe low C, but like the thing is with Star Fox, it's one of those series that has an extremely high and extremely low lows.
Yeah.
So
Like, oh, F-Zero has to evolve to get a new series. But Star Fox. But
yeah,
Star
Star Fox. The
though,
problem is they can't seem to find success outside of the 64 model, and
That's-
even then they
that's
absolutely
true.
butchered the quote last 64 based Star Fox game with the one that came out on Wii U.
Yeah, Star Fox Zero.
Yeah, so
Oh.
it's a real shame that the controls ruined that game. 'Cause that game honestly looked really fantastic outside of that.
Yeah.
If it had traditional controls, I think it would probably redeem itself all the way to A tier, but it didn't, and that's unfortunate. So yeah, bottom of C tier for me. Byron, do you agree with that?
I can agree with that, yeah. Legend of Starfleet. I have
So
played
I've
one.
never played this, so take me away,
I
Byron.
have played one game. It's okay. D tier though.
Oh dang.
It's D tier from what I remember playing it. Now, maybe me replaying it will make me change my opinion, but like high D, honestly.
Well, I can't dispute that I've never even seen gameplay for it, let alone played it. So
Ooh,
Super
you
Mario
are
RPG. Now,
so
let's put this in perspective. This isn't just Super Mario RPG. This
yes.
is also the Paper Mario games and the Mario and Luigi games.
Yes, I just happened to find someone who made just the top half of like the Super Mario RPG logo. So this will represent literally every Mario RPG. From
yeah, honestly, and you could argue that the Paper Mario games deserve to have their own separate
yeah,
thing
like
other
you
than Mario
like if you
RPG.
want to make that argument, that's more than fine. I could edit the tier list to add that, but for
Yeah,
now,
but as I said, this groups them as a whole.
yeah.
So the thing about the Mario RPGs is their best games are obviously S tier, but their worst games are F tier. So the thing is, I think the number of great games in the series vastly outnumbers the bad games. So doing this as a high B, low A tier series,
Oh,
Super Mario RPG defined RPGs in the West. It definitely brought the genre up as a whole because they were massively struggling.
mhm.
They followed up on that with the fantastic original Paper Mario 64 game, which was also an S tier game.
Yeah.
And the Thousand Year Door managed to improve even on that with an even better game. Super Paper Mario, honestly, to me, I put it in the 2D Super Mario category before I put it in the Mario RPGs. But for the sake of arguing, it's a Paper Mario game. We're putting it in this genre of games.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic game with a great story. I would argue the 2D platform is a little bit stale.
Yeah.
It came at a time to where there hadn't been a 2D Mario game in a long time.
Yeah.
So I appreciate what it tried to do.
Yeah.
But to me, that would probably be a B tier game. This is where things kind of tinker off a bit. Sticker Star, without any beyond a shadow of doubt, is an F tier game. It was absolutely terrible. The balance was horrid. You could get soft locked in the game based off your deck and whatnot, and get like hard stuck somewhere. It was a pretty terrible game. I don't want to turn this into a Sticker Star bashing session, so let's move on.
Yeah.
Color Splash is actually a decent game. It took what Sticker Star made and really improved on it. Not enough to where it reached the golden age of, the first two Paper Mario games, but it's still a C tier, respectable game. The Origami King took that to a different level, and I suppose the gameplay is different enough to where you really shouldn't compare it to Color Splash or Sticker Star. It kind of relies on the same, make paper jokes, laugh about it gimmick.
Yeah.
Overall.
Paper.
Yeah. But I think the game was still good enough to be considered an A tier game. It's definitely better than Super Paper Mario, in my opinion, and that's my hot take for the series. Then you have the Mario and Luigi games, and pretty much at minimum, outside of Paper Jam, those are all A or S tier games. The original, to me, was the true sequel / follow-up to Super Mario RPG that I had been searching for, and done enough interesting things with the genre. So to me, that was S tier. Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, to me, was kind of the stinker of the original three, but it was still a solid high, low A tier or solid B tier. Then you have Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. That's the easiest S tier of my life. I would argue the game kind of went a little bit crazy with like the tutorials and whatnot, but even ignoring that, the gameplay is absolutely charming and fantastic. Dream Team, this is where the series kind of started to see a little bit of a drop off. It's still an A tier game, still a fantastic Mario and Luigi game. Paper Jam is where the series nosedived for me. Paper Jam, and I this was a byproduct of, I think, Paper Mario being awful at that time. So it kind of infected Mario and Luigi with its awfulness, if that makes sense. But that's a D tier game. I don't think it's F tier because it's quite not as bad as Sticker Star, but it's not a great game either. But here's the thing: when you average that all out, it's an A tier series, right? So that's where I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of A tier.
You think bottom A? Me and my not RPG playing ass would do that.
Yeah, honestly, for me, I think it's between B tier, A tier. Like if we had a B plus, because the thing about Super Mario RPG as a whole series is you can't really call it as bad as Pokemon or Star Fox with their inconsistency, because really it's just two games that are awful, and the rest are either decent or amazing. So I would agree at least the top of B tier overall. I think it's not quite as good as the Mother series in terms of RPG as a whole, but that's where I would put it. At the very least, it's above all the Mario spin-offs. I can't agree. I can't agree to put it any lower than that.
All right, compromise. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. The Wario Land series of games.
I played the first one and I thought it was good. Yeah, I think A tier is a fair place for it.
Yeah, because, it's a fun series of platformers. I've played the first Wario Land game and I played Wario Land Shake It on Wii. Both were great experiences. I definitely want to play the rest of the series. So,
honestly, I don't think is as good as the Kirby series overall, though. Honestly, no. I think you should bump Kirby up to A tier.
Really?
Yeah, because you know what? The thing about Kirby is we've complained about consistency problems from a lot of these series.
Well,
Kirby doesn't have that problem.
Yeah, Kirby is consistently
Yeah,
like
I would put
good.
Wario in an A tier right underneath Kirby. Yeah, I said this is an adaptive tier list.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, Kirby
Yeah.
doesn't really have a bad game, honestly. Like people say, oh, Kirby's like the most consistent franchise for a reason.
Yeah, it's definitely a fantastic series of games. But back to Wario Land.
Mhm.
So Wario Land, there's some like they're really great 2D platforms. I'd put the original as an A tier game by itself.
Mhm.
I'm not quite sure how to judge the other ones because I never played them though.
Wario Land Shake, it's good. I'd probably put it like probably top of like a B tier,
Yeah.
honestly. But yeah, from serious platformers to wacky party games, it's WarioWare. Now, have you ever played WarioWare?
WarioWare. I've played one and I thought it was a really, really good game.
Mhm.
I kind of view it as like an alternative to Mario Party almost.
Yeah.
I would actually put it above the Mario Party series overall.
Ooh.
Because I think that there's a consistency with the WarioWare games being really good. Now, I would sit here and tell you that obviously the highs of WarioWare aren't even close to the highs of Mario Party.
Yeah.
But at the same time, WarioWare doesn't have those absolute stinkers that Mario Party does.
Well, that's the only reason I would probably put Mario Party above WarioWare is the highs aren't as high. But like in terms of consistency, WarioWare is consistent. But Mario Party has also had like fucking 18 games. Like,
oh yeah, and the thing is, like, if we were making this tier list based off the best game of each series, then obviously you would have Pokemon in S tier. Honestly, the majority of these series would be in S tier.
Yeah.
So this is the series as a whole. This isn't just a single individual game.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why, to me, the more I look at Bayonetta being at the bottom of B tier, the more I'm face palming because it's definitely an A tier series. So it's like,
okay, I think it's, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now you don't got a face. Now you don't got a face. I don't like it's okay IMO, but like I only had a brief experience with it. But that's
okay. Let's see the next game on the list.
Wave Race.
Wave Racer. So I played 64 pretty religiously for the most part.
Yeah.
I think it's all right. It's not amazing, but it's not bad either. I think C tier is a fair place for it. I didn't come away with a great impression one way or the other, but that's just me.
Yeah, I played Wave Race 64. The other Wave Race game, I think there's only been one other, which was Blue Storm for the GameCube. That's probably like the same quality. No, I do not remember there being a Wave Race on.
Maybe it was on GameCube and I played it on Wii or something. But
yeah, probably.
But... yeah, one way or the other. I don't think the series is bad. I don't think it's fantastic either. I think that that's a good spot for it. You know, it's a real shame that we put Wave Race there, and you see Star Fox, and you know what, Byron? I have to say this. No, not about Star Fox. Oh. No, honestly, yeah, you should leave Star Fox where it's at. Kid Icarus is better than everything that's not Golden Sun on that list. Kid Icarus Uprising is a fantastic game, Byron. Like
basically this then for C tier.
Yeah, because Kid Icarus Uprising to me is an A tier game, and I feel like we're kind of unfair to it because the other two games were in the very early 90s.
That's true.
And we're using the drag Kid Icarus Uprising down. I'm not a fan of that. I mean, but I get it. We got to be consistent. Yeah. We got to, as I said, we shat on Pokemon. So.
You more so than me. Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I'm down with putting Pokemon in C tier.
No. I think there's too many good ones for it to be at C.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Alrighty.
All right, Wii games.
The Wii series, Wii Sports, Wii Sports Resort, Wii Play Motion, Wii Party, Wii Party U, all the Wii Fit games, like the Wii series of games.
Whoa. Okay. So I think this is an A tier series. I think that Wii Sports Resort, and the Wii Fit games in particular
Mhm.
are some of the best casual experience in video gaming all time.
Mhm.
I think it brought on a storm of video game, and Wii Sports by itself single-handedly sold 100 million Wii
Yeah,
copies,
holy
in my opinion. 'Cause that's
yeah.
the game definitively
Yeah, that was
everybody
like
wanted to buy.
yeah, that was the game of the Wii right there. Yeah,
I
yeah,
could
I
see
I can I
it
can agree with
being
that. I can agree with
I could
that.
honestly see it being like towards like the higher spectrum of it, like above Fire Emblem and Mother and whatnot.
Yeah,
But I wouldn't put it over, the Metroid games or anything like that.
that's fair. Yeah.
Like I said, it started the big casual boom for Nintendo since, the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because up until then, Nintendo was kind of like struggling outside of their handhelds.
Yeah.
Um, Honestly, fantastic game series. I'm pretty sure everybody watching this video has played Wii Sports with family members and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And there's a good reason for that. The game's great.
Yeah,
right?
it's a great experience, yeah.
So,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
to the next one.
the Xenoblade Chronicles trilogy. As of right now, it's just a trilogy.
Well, it's 2 games and a spinoff.
Chronicles X.
Yeah, there's Xenoblade Chronicles X, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah, so
Notice
that's
that the one in the middle is a spinoff.
fair enough. It's still 3 games though in
Yeah,
the
it's 3
overall
games.
series, yeah.
So, Xenoblade Chronicles, this is the type of game you love it or you hate it.
Mhm.
I personally love Xenoblade Chronicles, and I'd put it in A tier, but I could also see why this isn't the type of game for everybody.
Yeah,
So let's talk about the pros of Xenoblade Chronicles. I think Xenoblade Chronicles does open world better than pretty much every single other game that's
Mhm.
a part of this genre, outside of maybe Breath of the Wild for Zelda. But even then, that's because the developers for Xenoblade Chronicles worked on Breath of the Wild. So
yeah.
yeah. So the thing is, it's an RPG that's real time action and whatnot. It kind of plays a little bit like an MMO in
Mhm.
terms of like its gameplay, and as I said, that can be very hit or miss.
Yeah.
And Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in particular has an extremely complex battle system that literally doesn't stop teaching you about it until damn near the end of the game.
Like
The worlds are absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. I think Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii, and in terms as well as its remake,
yeah.
is one of the best RPGs ever made. It's an easy S tier.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, X was not all that great and fantastic. I think it's probably a B tier game
Mhm.
at the time, maybe even lower. Maybe it's a C tier.
Mhm.
But Xenoblade Chronicles 2 to me is an easy A tier because it was pretty fantastic. I would argue the one thing that hurt Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was its story and its characters overall. But all in all, to me, I'm going to say bottom of A tier.
Bottom A. Interesting.
Yeah, because as I said, it's not a series that everyone's going to love. The people who love it are going to stand by it and call it an S tier. And the people who don't like it are probably going to call it a D tier. But I think
I'm
that
not
in
gonna go
terms-
that.
okay, that's too harsh. People would
Yeah,
call it a
I'm not gonna go that far.
Yeah, I think to me, if
Uh,
I were choosing to tier this, I'd put it in S tier, but A tier would be my compromise. And the reason that is because I think they do open worlds better than every single game on this genre,
Mhm.
and there's always something fun to go find and explore with landmarks and stuff like that. The battle system to me is great, but as I said, I could see why people wouldn't like it. And as I said, it's really hard to play through Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and give it the merit it deserves when the story is really kind of crazy.
like, because I was thinking, like, and this will probably be in my personal tier list. In my personal tier list, probably fucking here because I'm not an RPG guy. So like, there's that. But like, I maybe here, but you
No,
you would
you
call me an
can't
animal. Yeah, you would call
can't
me an
have the
animal
level
for
of blasphemy and say every game in B tier is better than it. I think that's insane. So that's where I would put it, but that's just my opinion.
I'll compromise with you on this.
Yeah, because A tier is my compromise.
Fair enough.
All right, we're running out of games. Yoshi. Oh boy, so this makes me so sad because
Yep.
okay, so let's talk about it. Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island is definitely a part of this, even though it's technically a 2D Mario game.
Yeah.
because it kickstarted the Yoshi series.
Yeah,
So
great game. Great game.
yeah, it's one of the greatest 2D platformers ever made. I think it has that mix of introducing new gamers to the platform genre,
Yeah.
while simultaneously also being a collectathon.
Trust me, I know
The-
all about that because I streamed the Game Boy Advance version of it over on my Twitch. Fucking, I think like fall of this year, fall of last year. I mean,
Yeah, 2020.
Yeah.
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 I think the first game is masterclass in design. It's S tier. It's with the absolute best of them.
Mhm.
The problem with Yoshi is every game after that, for the most
I
part.
wouldn't. Yeah, I was gonna say like I heard Woolly World is pretty good. Not as good
Yeah,
as like.
Here's the thing. I could go through the games individually.
Yeah.
So Yoshi's Story was probably a middling B tier game. I think it was plagued, one, by the egg mechanics being significantly nerfed and reduced from where they were.
Mhm.
On top of very uninteresting level design.
Yeah.
You also didn't play through all the levels on a first playthrough. You kind of have to play through the game multiple times to cycle through all
which
the
is
levels.
pretty jank, IMO.
Yeah. Topsy Turvy was extremely gimmicky, and honestly, I found it unfun
Yeah.
completely. And the level design still wasn't where it needed to be.
Yeah.
There's a Yoshi's Island, I forget what it's called, where you have Wario, Bowser Jr., DK, Peach.
Wasn't it New Yoshi's Island or like something?
No. It's not Topsy Turvy. It's the one that came between that and New Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi.
That game was actually fairly decent.
Yoshi Touch and Go?
Yeah, I believe so. That game was actually fairly decent. I obviously would not put it anywhere close to the highs of the original.
Mhm.
I would say it's a solid B tier game.
Yeah.
New Yoshi's Island is terrible. Uninspired level design, uninspired bosses. They still haven't gotten the egg mechanics right since the original. Honestly, I don't even know why they changed them to begin with. It's a D tier game for me. It's even worse than Yoshi's Story, which is really saying something.
Wow.
Then you have Yoshi's Woolly World. That game was pretty decent. It's a B tier game for the most part.
Yeah.
Can't really say anything outside of that.
Mhm.
What's the one that just came out for Switch?
Yoshi's Crafted World.
Yoshi's Crafted World. So to me, that's probably a high B, low A tier game. I think it improved on Woolly World, right?
Really? I will say the general consensus seems to be the opposite.
Oh, you think it's a step down?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was all right. It's nowhere. Here's the thing. That's too high. I would say it's a B, low B, high C.
When
the thing is it's none of those games I mentioned come even remotely close to the original.
And
not a single one.
And something hilarious, the creator of the music for Yoshi's Woolly World fucking roasted the Crafted World music on Twitter. Like,
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You forgot about that.
I forgot about that.
That was fun.
So yeah, honestly, it's a C tier franchise. Honestly, if the original didn't exist, then this would easily be a D tier franchise.
Agreed.
And it sucks because like when you see games that are like really extremely well designed, like Star Fox falls into this category as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just see every game afterwards absolutely fucking flop for one reason or another in terms of gameplay.
Yeah.
It just hurts to see because, like, as I said, if this was a list where you took the single best game for each individual game, and then that was your tier list, this would be the easiest S tier of my life. And it makes me sad.
Where do you think it should go in C?
I think it's just right above Star Fox, below everything else.
I was fucking tempted to do this.
I don't think Pikmin quite has the lows of Yoshi.
That's true.
Nor does Luigi's Mansion. But maybe I'd put it between Luigi's Mansion and Pikmin, but I don't know. That's just my take.
Yeah.
As I said, I want people to know when they're watching this tier list that we're about consistency. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to shit on Pokemon for like 10.5 minutes or Mario RPG or any of these other games that have like really high highs and really low lows. And be like, oh, well, I'm just going to praise this because I like one particular game. You know what I mean?
No, Slade might do that later in his own individual video tier list. Maybe.
I'm about consistency. Yeah. So,
all right,
what do we got left?
We do have 4 other franchises left that we got Chibi Robo. Once again, can we get the military horns out for this guy right here? This
Unfortunately, we don't see any more of these games.
this franchise, like, it had one good US game. Everything else is like trashed here. So like, I think that's the appropriate place for it, and that's nothing against the character itself, because I like the design of the character. The character looks cool. It's just it's just, my god.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've never played any of these bottom 4 games. I wouldn't actually know where to put these. There, you can see that we did everything, pretty much in alphabetical order. You see these 4 games at the very bottom. The reason that is because Byron and I don't have a lot of experience with these series, so we feel like we can't make objective opinions about them.
Yeah.
I mean, we can look up reviews and see the general consensus, but we're trying to be authentic here. We're not just going to play something we haven't played.
But yeah, these were the 4, and obviously this just represents Picross as a whole, because I couldn't find a good Picross just logo, just a good transparent logo. But obviously, I put these in there in case some of you guys have played these games, and you can tier them in your own tier list. So yeah.
So everybody, this is our tier list. As you can see here, we've topped it off with Mario and Zelda. I don't think anybody's surprised. Honestly, Byron, the more I look at this, bump 3D Mario up to S tier. Yeah. I'm actually looking at this a bit now. Yeah. Not right there. I'd put it after Mario Kart. After Mario Kart. Yeah. Okay. And you know what? And I'm going to say this as well. Metroid needs to be up there. I swear to God. Not Metroid Prime, but Metroid. And you can put it just above Smash Brothers, in my opinion.
I'll take this goddamn compromise. I'll take the
looking
compromise.
At this, obviously you have your 2D and 3D Zelda and Mario games in S tier. I don't think anyone's particularly surprised to see that.
Nah.
Obviously we value Donkey Kong and Mario Kart pretty greatly. I don't think anybody's surprised for that either.
Smash, not a surprise that it's up there.
Yeah, it's weird because people the thing about Smash is people love talking about Smash more than they like playing it.
Honestly, yes, I am in that camp as well.
Yeah. So your A tier, I would say maybe Fire Emblem's the only game that's strange to see up here, considering that our criteria for these other series have been more about consistency than anything else. Let's bump Fire Emblem down to the top of B tier. I can't be this much of a homer over it.
Oh!
I think the thing about Fire Emblem is the GBA games, the GameCube games, Awakening, Echoes, and Three Houses are all fantastic. But at the same time, I can't really defend Fates. I think Fates is pretty terrible. And then all of the games before the GBA games are kind of aged really poorly.
That's fair.
I think, as I said, we value consistency here. I can't, in good faith, say Fire Emblem's an A-tier franchise and then shit on Pokemon for 20 minutes. So I think Fire Emblem deserves to be in B tier.
That's fair.
Which is it pains me to admit it. And see, this is why we do the end of the video here, because this is the point where we can look at where everything's at and kind of adjust. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then honestly, bring Xenoblade Chronicles to B tier as well. I think it's just fair.
Where do you think it goes?
Right behind Fire Emblem.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
As I said, Xenoblade Chronicles X to me kind of brings down the original as well, and 2, as I said, has a really cringy story. So as I said, we're consistent with our opinions here. I think that's where it goes.
Well, the only thing is I don't think there's a bad Wario Land game, though.
Let's go ahead and put that to the top.
There's not a bad Wario Land game.
Yeah, so if we were grading Fire Emblem based off every game from the GBA games onwards, it'd be an A-tier franchise.
Yeah.
But all in all, we have to be fair. We have to be consistent. I think B is perfectly fine for it. It's really hard because you're talking about some dated games, and at the time, a lot of those games were amazing. But all in all, I just don't think they've aged terribly well. So, okay, so let's talk about our A tier. You have the Metroid Prime series, which I don't think anyone's surprised to see that here, as long as the Wii games. I think the big surprise here is obviously the Pokemon spin-offs and Mystery Dungeon being up here. But I've already, voiced my opinion pretty heavily for the spin-offs. I think the majority are absolutely amazing. And then you have Hey You Pikachu, but that's really just it.
There was that Pokemon like DS racing game. That's also pretty not great.
Yeah, but I mean that's 2 games and like out of 20, like that's still a marquee of pretty consistency. Because like here's the thing, you can't just pick out one bag and be like, oh, this makes the series
That
terrible.
no, but like
Because I mean, Phantom Hourglass exists for 2D Zelda, but we have it as the best overall game type, like on our entire tier list. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would I'd do
Oh,
that,
I
but
hard
I
disagree.
would do
Hard
that, but
disagree.
like I obviously,
Hard
but
disagree.
obviously I am more of a Mario person than a Zelda person. But
And I think I'm bigger on Zelda than I am on Mario, but not by a whole lot.
Mhm.
I just think in terms of like masterclass game design, I just feel like 2D Zelda. You know what? Actually, Byron, I agree with you. I think we put 2D Super Mario above it. Because the thing about 2D Zelda is you have Phantom Hourglass, which I think is probably the only middling Zelda game out there. I think Spirit Tracks is fairly decent for what it is.
Mhm.
Whereas you look at a 2D Super Mario game, and outside of Super Mario Bros. 2, which even then, that's still decent in its own right. See, that's so hard. That's
yeah,
so hard to decide between those two because I feel like they're like 1A and 1B, honestly.
fuck it, you can go anyway.
Okay, so as I said, our A tier is rounded out with Kirby. I think the thing about Kirby is an extremely consistent series with
Yeah.
amazing games, good games.
No real shit games, which is
Yeah,
fairly surprising for
yeah.
a series.
I think the worst Kirby game is like a B tier. And to be fair, I think there's quite a few B tier Kirby games, but there's also some S tiers and some A tiers as well. So I think A tier is perfectly fine.
I think
for
there's
it.
probably a few C tier Kirby games, but like there's some fucking S tier Kirby games.
So going to our B tier, this is definitely the most crowded tier. This is where we think there's a lot of good games in these,
Yes.
but there's also some stickers. This is the series that are played by. You know, Byron, I have to say something else.
Oh,
we need
boy.
to put We need to put Animal Crossing in A tier.
Mm.
Animal Crossing does not have the issues most of these other series do, and people love Animal Crossing for a reason.
You know
right?
what? Compromise. I'll put it below Kirby.
Yeah. I think it's blasphemy to have Animal Crossing in that tier. After like looking at the tier as a whole,
Well, because I know
the majority of these games are either they have really good games across the board, or like they're played with consistency issues.
Well, because I know
Animal Crossing doesn't deserve to be in there.
Well, because
you know
I know
what I mean?
people were really not liking like some of the stuff that's like in like what's the New Horizons, like all the like multiplayer like stuff you gotta like fucking like do 1800, you go through 1800 menus. There's not as much things in New Horizons as there is in, let's say, New Leaf, from what I've heard. So like, but that's just what I've heard.
Yeah, but New Leaf on its own is it like an S plus game, and then Horizon's still an A game in my opinion.
Mhm.
And even the original is still an A tier game. Like honestly, in terms of consistency, Animal Crossing's really good.
Yeah.
So like that's why I felt like looking at the list, I was like, no, it's actually blasphemy. We have it down there.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right. So like I said, the B tier is just a series either are consistently decent or have amazing games and have stinkers. It's a series. It's like a tier plagued with consistency issues.
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon being here especially is probably the biggest hot take. I also think Bayonetta here is also a bit of a hot take, but it was kind of our compromise position.
Yeah.
Because the genre not everybody loves, so
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, it's like Muso games. People love Muso games, but there's also people that fucking hate Muso games.
Yeah. So all in all, that's our tier right there. You have our C tier down here, where a lot of these games have one really fantastic game.
One or more, but like the
Yeah,
rest.
one or more. And then they have just stinkers everywhere else. That, or they're just not a series that have enough games that are like really amazing, like Advance Wars or Brain Age.
Yeah.
Wave Race even.
Mhm.
So this is our tier for games that are like, if you're a Nintendo fan, you're gonna enjoy these for the most part.
Mhm.
But all in all, these aren't going to be series you're trying to sell to other people to play a Nintendo platform
Yeah.
or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like at that point, you would be recommending everything above it. So D tier are games that I think were good for their time, but ultimately just either didn't age well or just weren't interesting enough to really stick around as a whole.
Oh, wait, hold on. But I think Here's what I think, because this series has 2 great games, but the rest are shit.
Yeah, this is a C tier.
Yeah.
Based on our criteria, because it's basically plagued by the same problems as Yoshi.
Yes. Yeah.
Where Yoshi peaked with its start,
Yes.
and then just kind of steadily declined from there.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Because I'm like, even though like most of this series is IMO garbage because of the minis. Like,
but the first 2 games are fantastic. Yeah, I
Yes.
completely agree with this.
And then I'm gonna actually fucking rename this tier. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna rename this tier to
The Tanimals.
yeah
Lol.
yeah this is that is the Nintenimals tier. It ain't the F tier. It's just the Nintenimals tier.
Yeah, I feel like we're like haters of Nintendogs and stuff like that. I just really can't understand the appeal of playing with like a pat on your screen.
Yeah,
when you get
it's
triggered
just
back.
it's like the one series that like it sells surprisingly well. But like why?
Yeah, that's probably one of the more blasphemous things on our list.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, this is our tier list.
Yeah, that's the tier list. Expect more. Probably just solo tier lists where like one of us tiers stuff. So look. look
sure.
forward to that. Like, because definitely look forward to Slade's like eventual Pokemon and Mario RPG ones. Those are gonna be spice right there.
Oh yeah. As I said, let us know in the comments what you think. Do me and Byron have trash tier opinions? Is there something we overlooked or forgot about?
Yeah.
Or hell, just talk to us about the games we don't know anything about. Educate us a little bit.
Yeah, educate us on
we'll
like
have-
Chibi
Go ahead,
Robo, Custom Robo, Pilot Wings, the Picross series. If there's any, like Slade said, any other series we missed. Blah blah blah.
We'll also have a link to this tier list chart in the
description below.
Yeah, in the description.
Yeah.
So feel free to share your own tier list as well in the comments.
Yeah.
But anyways, this was fun, Byron. We should do this again.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So if you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. If you disliked it, hit the thumbs down. Comment below. All of our social media links will be in the description below. This has been Byron, and
this is Slade. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you next week.